Every single day that goes by, I'm reminded how 2024, everything changes. Everything that I'm seeing. And let's start off with something that if you would have told me 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 3 years ago, that Israel would be at this point in the ICJ formally addressing claims of genocide brought by South Africa, who knows a little bit about it, and the whole world has stopped and is saying, go ahead, proceed. If you would have told me that, I would have said no way. Absolutely no way in hell would that ever exist. No way. But it is. It's happening. Trump is elevated to a status few people can understand and grasp. That's another thing. Articles that say Elon Musk is the new Trump. This Malay, whatever his name is, who be careful of him, in Argentina is the new Trump. Now there's a little cat fighting going on between Trump and Vic Ramaswamy. If you would have told me that this other convulsion would portend, would augur, would wax pythonic, change, Cat Williams, bigger than anything you can imagine, calling out the installed, the Illuminati. It's Jason Whitlock and this little Stephen A. Smith going at it again, talking about the chosen. Aaron Rodgers and Jimmy Kimmel over vaccine stuff, with Jimmy Kimmel retreating. It's a new world. And then, believe it or not, somebody as innocuous, well, seemingly as Lil Nas X, the same thing. It's plus an absolute plethora, a cascade, a deluge of, I don't want to say anti-Israel, but anti-genocide voices, and how people of the left that I would have had nothing really to do with, we're in complete and total lockstep, not in terms of being anti-Israel, not in terms of being pro-Palestinian, but in anti-genocide, and in reading the specifics of the international laws. I'm listening to people and agreeing with people that a couple of years ago, a couple of months ago, I would have never given the time of day. Do you see what's happening? Yes, you do. It's like nothing I ever thought even remotely possible. Ladies and gentlemen, this is bigger than anything I ever even imagined to be true. So sit back, dear friends. Sit back and let me thank you. Got a big announcement from Liz Solak later, so pay attention. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but a lot of people are going to be pretty impressed with that. Please like the video. Please, dear friends, please subscribe to this channel. Make sure you do this. And also make sure you pay very close attention. Remember, our sponsors are our lifeblood. Your support, your beneficence, your philanthropy, your kindness, all of this makes platforms like this worthwhile. So let us begin with our dear friends at LionelNationGold.com. The markets are in turmoil. The whole world is in turmoil. Oil, tech, retail, property, you name it. Nobody knows where this all ends. So what can you do? Well, you might have heard of precious metals, but not thought much more about it. How do you buy them? Where would you even keep gold if you had it? But precious metals come into their own in times like these. As geopolitical tensions rise and economic turmoil looms, gold is always a beacon of stability. Investing in some resilience with the Noble Gold Investments IRA services, looking after your money makes sense. The team at Noble Gold Investments will run through your options with you and see if you qualify to start a gold IRA or 401k rollover. Protect your portfolio with a Noble Gold Investments IRA and claim a free silver virtue coin for starting. Call 877-646-5347 today. Tell them Lionel sent you. That's 877-646-5347 and fortify your financial future against the winds of change. Or visit LionelNationGold.com right now. What was that again? That's LionelNationGold.com. The only gold company I trust. And remember, there's always a risk of investment and there's no guarantee of any kind. That's right, my friends. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Please let me also, while we're on this subject, let me remind you, the last time we did an evening at the cutting room, speaking of Liz, she did the saber dance and authentic saber dance, including, the flame and the whole bit. It caused a bit of a stir with the fire marshals, but it was so important and so critical. And it was that form of audience participation that I said, by God, I want to bottle this. So if you want to see something near that, February the 3rd, I will be returning to the New York's famed and fabled cutting room. That's right. Famed and storied cutting room. I will be there, dear friends, dear, great friends. And let me also tell you this. If you want to know specifically where you get tickets, right here, read this link and let us begin. My friends, I'm saying this, and I spent quite a bit on the private channel this eve going through this and explaining this. How many of you have been told that if you opine in a way where you might say that under the international law rules and provisions, there may be, in fact, a provision, or excuse me, there may be a violation of international law, specifically regarding what has been alleged by South Africa and Israel. Have you ever heard from somebody that says, why are you anti-Israel? Why are you against Israel? And you say, no, I'm not against Israel. It's something to do with it. I'm against genocide. Yeah, but don't you understand? And they take it as brilliant. They take it as though you're saying this is about Israel. No, it's whoever did this. If it's Rwanda, if it's anybody, this notion of this. Article 2 of the provision, and I refer you to you, says, and by the way, it's very, very simple. It's very, very simple. In the present convention, and by the way, this is the Convention of the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide. In the present convention, genocide means any of the following acts committed, now listen carefully, with the intent to destroy in whole or part a national, ethnical, that's what they call it, racial or religious group. You want to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnical, racial, or religious group. Such, killing members of the group, causing serious bodily or mental harm to members of the group, deliberately inflicting the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part, imposing measures intended to prevent births within the group, forcibly transferring children of the group to another group. This is what genocide is. This is not what the colloquial sense of what genocide is. And because of that, this is a very, very dangerous issue. It poses quite the threat for Israel, because that's precisely what this is. Now, let me tell you the real story. And this is really, I was listening today. Let me just stop. I don't want to go through the list of the people that I didn't listen to. I don't dislike people. I just some people I just never really. Jordan Peterson, I can't listen to. I can't. I don't know why. It's no big deal. I'm just that's it. I don't know why. That's it. Jordan Peterson to an extent. But his daughter, Michaela, I believe her name is, did one of the most incredible interviews where she sat for an hour or so and let Norman Finkelstein speak. She didn't say a word. And it was beautiful. She just let him speak. It is one of the best comprehensive histories of Israel. I defy you to just listen to this. Now, towards the end, you can argue about various things. But I think to myself, this is incredible. Norman Finkelstein was MIA. He was the DB Cooper of this. He wasn't anywhere. He just was grounded. Dershowitz, basically, it was a kiss of death. Gone. And watch what happens. Pay attention. And I've got nothing personal against. My observation is not against Dershowitz. I'm saying he represents a faction, a trajectory that you're not going to be seeing. Why do you think he's I don't be surprised if Israel tells him, back off. We don't need you. You are a liability. Now think about this. And by the way, the two defenders, the barristers, oh. But let me tell you what's really important. And I want you to listen to me very carefully. This blew my mind. And I'm listening to so many people, again, from people I never, and I don't want to go through the list, but they have the best guests on. There have been some Arab and Palestinian lawyers and professors that I absolutely marvel. This one, Rabbani, is so down the middle. It's brilliant. But let me tell you this much. During the course, and listen to me carefully, take this for what it's worth. And this is one thing I would advise Israel. Keep in mind what you're doing right now. During the course of the Holocaust, the genocide of genocides, during the course of this, even though it is reported that Hitler and others might have been very, very vocal in terms of their antipathy, hatred, their despising non-Aryans, Jews, Gypsies, whatever it is, they never described, and here's what we're going to do. This is the final solution. And this is Eichmann. And this is never. Now, this again, I stand corrected. I am not in any way posing myself, presenting myself as an historian. But I'm telling you that this is what I heard today. And it made me say, oh my God, I never thought of that. What we're having here is people basically saying, we're not taking, these aren't our words. These are your words. This Amalek, this notion of what Netanyahu said, this quote, explicit or tacit calls, and I'll let other people debate whether that is, but because of these phones, because these young these rabid soldiers dancing and almost perfervid, rabid in their exaltations and their singing, and they were almost like dancing at what is construed as genocide under the convention. Now, remember, it's not what you think it is. It doesn't matter. You might disagree with it. But in Article 2, we're talking about the intent to destroy and hold apart a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group. And you have people basically saying we're going to go in and there's going to be no water and there are roaches and there. Now, if I represented Israel, the first thing I was doing was say, whoa, wait a minute, wait. This is not the official policy. These are anecdotal. These are just spirited. Bibi Netanyahu was not in any way countenancing or ordering genocide. He was merely, because of this, rah, whatever it is, that's what we're talking about. That's what I would say. That's what I would say. And this is what people are saying is, oh my God, who recorded this? You don't have this normally. You don't have leaders saying something as explicit as this. Now, here's the bottom line. What does it mean? What does it mean ultimately? What are they going to do? There's no jurisdiction. There's no, what are you going to, how do you enforce? Let's assume Israel goes in and says, okay, we plead guilty, straight up. What are you going to do? We're going to walk out of here. What are you going to do? Put us on probation? What? What can you do about this? So I don't know. Is it moot? But it changes everything. Because the moment, and this is what I would worry about if I were Israel. Up till now, there has been, as Mearsheimer says, the U.S. and Israel have been joined at the hip for years. Truman was absolutely a part of the establishment of Israel. Absolutely. I don't have to tell you this. You knew this. If it becomes accepted, understood, almost universally agreed upon, without a doubt, okay, that Israel committed genocide here, October the 7th, and if somebody says, let's say, I don't know who, I don't think it's going to be Trump who would do this, but let's assume that Blinken or somebody get it, because Blinken's not, his heart's not in this, and Biden doesn't know what the hell he's doing. But if somebody said, Bibi, we can't do this anymore, because now they want to come after us because we're aiding and abetting you. This is gone. I can't believe this is almost like the January 6th thing. This is what people said. Oh, come on, they're not gonna. It was protest. How many of you thought that? How many of you thought, oh, they're not going to do this January 6th? That's nonsense. They're not going to prosecute. How do you prosecute people for basically just saying that they disagreed with? Okay, it was a bit rambunctious. Okay, it was rambunctious. It was loud. It was trespassorial. Okay, but this was in no way, but rebellion. And I couldn't believe they did it. I'm still trying to figure out how the hell do you impeach him twice? Well, let me tell you what's going to happen. There's a lot of folks who basically say, hey, Biden, now listen to this. Follow me on this one. This is tough. There's a lot of people, we'll just call them right and left. A lot of right-wingers are saying, hey, Biden, we want you to suffer because you have been countenancing and aiding and abetting this genocide. So you better cut this out, and we go after you to shut you up and shut you down, and all these Democrats for getting, our side with January 6th. Stop. Now we get the left come in, the Amy Goodmans and the usual, and they say, well, okay, yeah, I'm with you, but not for that reason. But either way, yeah, okay, good. We both agree. We have to do something because the United States is guilty of aiding and abetting genocide. Let's assume they argue that, and we're going to cut this funding. What about Ukraine? That too? Yeah, we're gonna. Well, so do you see what we have here? We have left and right now. the weirdest on the dance card, participating in this weird kind of a pavan where they've never been anywhere near each other before. They're meeting and agreeing for the weirdest of reasons. You've got people who are saying enough with it. And by the way, there's a lot of, non-neocons. But you've got the left who basically are saying we're against war. And put it this way. The left pro-Israel group are having to connect with the right wing. The left, whatever the prototypical left is, who is against war, are now meeting with some right-wing folks to. I mean, it's crazy. George Len says, you're talking about the war of wills here. Who's going to prevail? Lots of dynamics with lots of loose ends here. It's wheel of misfortune here. Thank you, George. Well, what's going to happen? Let me see if I can say this again to you. This is critical. It's not a sense of a regular thing. This is George, there's not going to be Israel being found guilty and have to pay a fine, or, okay, you have to give back your land. No, it's almost like a titular theoretical. Did you ever hear of nominal damages? Remember the U.S., was it U.S. football? It's where you sue for $1. You sue for $1. You don't really sue for the actual amounts themselves, but it's the principle of it. Let me stop for a second, my friends. Let me just have you listen very carefully. As I've told you this from the beginning, and I still say this right now. If you think 2024 is going to be a fantastic year, but remember, the shadow government, the intel state, police state, all these people love the notion, very, very important, love the notion of aiding and abetting chaos. And in the event there is a supply chain problem, there's a grain problem, there's a, remember all gas stations where there was ransomware and all this other nonsense. If anything goes wrong, do you think you could right now last 4 days with no food? Stop right now. What if I just shut your home down, lock the doors, and said, good, you can have at it. You can't leave. What would you do? Be okay for a while. Be kind of interesting. And then you realize, oh my God, we don't have anything. I got a lot of spices and things. And then you've got kids. And you've got to maintain calories. Can you do 2,000 calories a day for 90 days? No? Well, I've got the answer for you. 2024, as I have stated and predicted, will be contentious, scary, and promises to blow your mind. It'll make 2023 look like a walk in the park because the folks who run the show live for chaos and instability and panic. Your panic. Now, many of our problems could be solved overnight, but that defeats the purpose. Destabilization and chaos, that's the name of the game. Now, if you can handle the truth, and I know you can, you need to visit my website, preparewithlionel.com. Write this down, preparewithlionel.com. You'll get $200 off a much-needed and absolute best-selling 3-month emergency food kit from My Patriot Supply. Now listen carefully. This is the country's largest preparedness company. My Patriot Supply is your fighting chance at survival. And I don't use that word lightly, survival. Sealed inside 6 water-resistant buckets, these delicious meals, 22 varieties of tasty breakfasts, lunches, dinners, snacks, you name it, last up to 25 years and provide over 2,000 calories per day. And we're talking 120 pounds of food. Eat right in emergencies with this 3-month food kit from My Patriot Supply. At this low price, you can get one for everyone in your family. Think about this. This is critical. So visit preparewithlionel.com right now. Order by 3 p.m. for free same-day shipping. Prepare right now at preparewithlionel.com. One more time. Go to preparewithlionel.com before chaos ensues. Now, we've had a very interesting number of eulogia, elegies, tributes to our one Gonzalo Lira. And there's been so much covered by everybody around the world, except our country. And I don't even bother trying to tell people who he is. I don't bother telling people this because I don't think they truly kind of get or understand that critical part. I don't think they understand. I don't think they get it. Okay? I don't think they get it. But when you talk about the fact that, well, I guess there's no free speech in Ukraine. Is there free speech in this country? Look at January 6th. Despicable. Absolutely, positively despicable. How that is allowed to happen in our country, I'll never know. And I can't believe how many people actually sit back and just think nothing, who actually believe this lie, this absolute shite that represented an actual, theoretical, critical, absolute, serious threat to our civilization, our country, our rule of law. It's disgusting. I mean, absolutely disgusting. These sick bastards who run this left, from the Jamie Raskins to the Liz Cheneys, they are cold-blooded. And when they meet in a scrum, they lose whatever sense of propriety they have. And it's replaced by this rabid, it's all about Trump. It's all anti-Trump. This rabid lunacy, absolute lunacy. Think about this. A rebellion? Overthrow? These people? With no resistance? This is such, I mean, I can't believe that. So when you hear about, Gonzalo Lira, well, that's Ukraine. Well, yeah, and let me remind you, we still don't know the official story. I don't believe any of this stuff. I don't believe any of that crap they say. Whether it's because of pneumonia or what have you. I don't know what this. But there's a part of me that's very angry. It's like, why did you do this? What did you accomplish? What were you doing? You've got a wife, you've got kids. What are you doing? What did you, by snottily goading and jeering and mocking and taunting, what did you think you were accomplishing there? Now the Duran's very good, but I think they're in safe harbor. There is a part of Gonzalo, I'm sorry to say, it's kind of like crazy. He almost seemed manic a couple of times, but he'd laugh and he'd laugh. It's like, what are you doing? Just get out of there. Move, get your family, just lay low, turn this down, get out, leave, then do this. I would leave Ukraine anyway. You're in Kharkov. What do you get the hell out of there? What's going on here? And just sit there and taunt. And I don't get it. I don't understand it. Say, what exactly were you accomplishing? Speak later, but get out of the country. What are you doing? I will never understand. Sometimes the behavior. What are these lunatics in the game? They're in the US too. Are they boarding a survival arc? What are these lunatics? Which lunatic are we speaking of, per se? What are we speaking of? Which could you be just a tad more specific regarding this? Let me also say one thing about Gonzalo. The fact that the United States didn't lift a finger when we went bananas over this non-binary, whatever, this Brittany Griner, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I got to tell you 3 things that happened too. Listen to this. Number 1, on a lighter note, Mrs. L and I were dining at an establishment, and the waitress was very nice. And by the way, I will take any discount because of my senility, my decrepitude, whatever you want to call it, age, wisdom. I don't care. Give me 25. I'll take it. Seniors is whatever you want to call it. Seniors or over the hill, or I don't care. I'll take whatever you've got. So we went, and the waitress said, "True, I'm not telling you." She says, "Well, we don't call it, senior says that we call you for our experienced customers. So help me God, experienced, like Jimi Hendrix. You know, Jimi Hendrix. Are you experienced? Yes. You get 10% off, whatever the hell it was. That's number 1. Number 2, we had at an airport recently, big airport, big city, in the ladies' room, and I posted it. They have a needle drop off, or needle. I don't know what the hell it's called. I'm got it right here. Look at this picture myself. It's called the needle. Hang on. Where in the hell is this damn thing? Oh, here we go. It says needle disposal in the bathroom. Needle. Now, when you say that, first of all, why are you? We're not talking about people who are using diabetic, syringes. Why would you? Are you countenancing the possession of needles? Why would you be doing this in the first place? What if there was a bullet disposal? Wait a minute. You allow guns? Third thing, client of mine had got married. She changed her name pursuant to the marriage license, but she had to go to the Social Security number to actually officially change names, and the marriage thing wasn't enough. So she went to a Social Security office. She could not. It was packed. Guess what it was packed with? People changing their gender. And they were arguing and as pissed off as you can imagine. And they would ask questions like, were you born? How were you listed? About whatever it was. It was just it was just a form. And sure enough, they said, what are you talking about? What the hell are you talking? And they just love to get angry, perpetually, permanently pissed off, angry. John McGuire couldn't get hired, said, how did they get the needles past TSA? Well, it's in the ladies' room, not in past. I guess in the front area. It's a good question. No, this would be in the front, part of it. But here's another one for you. I want to change the subject just a little bit. But tell me where I'm wrong, sort of. Let me give you a hypothetical question. There's a place outside of, it's in Philly called Kensington. Please go to YouTube and look it up. Kensington. Kensington, it's just an area of Philly. And Philly's a tough place, by the way. Don't let anybody fool you. Philly is, New York's got nothing on Philly. And it is the night of the living dead. Zombies, people frozen, bent over, locked in like number 7s. They're just locked and bent, and they're sitting there, sores from the trank and this trank scene, and xylazine and sores and teeth missing, and they're it's just this human. I don't know what it is. All of their humanity has been replaced by this chemical, and they're just. It's I've never seen any. No, people have said, yeah, there were drug addicts and heroin people, but never anything even remotely like this. Okay. Now here's my question: do you feel sorry for them? Yes or no? Do you feel sorry for them? Yes or no? Yes or no? Do you feel sorry for these people when you see them? Does your heart break? Do you say to yourself, oh, or do you say, get out? Enough. You're screwing everything up. Nobody held you down. Nobody made you take this. Jesus, how many of you did you not know this? Everybody took trank at the same time. They realized, hey, this is bad stuff. You did this. Is that wrong? Anybody think that? Anybody think that? Anybody think enough of this? I'm so tired of this. Why do I have to feel sorry for you? Feel sorry for what? You're ruining, you are a health hazard. You are spreading disease, and you are a walking open sore, a festering sore. You are absolutely of no good or use to society. You may have been at one time. Now do us a favor. This is not my problem, it's yours. Get out. I don't want to see this. Anybody feel like that? Anybody? Anybody? Anybody feel like I may not be that strong? My thoughts. But when I see these people, sorry, I don't feel sad. I feel angry. What if somebody kept getting into fights with you or your family members, got into fights and hit them because they had a drinking problem and they were drunk? Would that make any difference to you? No. No. We just say you don't understand the reason why she stole from you is she's bipolar. Would that make any difference? No. He said, she stole my stuff. Yeah, but you don't understand. You see, she's sick. I want my stuff back. No, 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 you don't understand. She needs help. She needs help. I want my stuff back. How about she needs help? We'll put everybody on a some type of a big bus and bus them to some big tent area, and we could just go and you can stay there, and we'll give you all the drugs you want. Just go over there. Okay? Just get out of here. You're doing nothing. You're defecating and urinating. You are a health. We'll move you. If you want to do this, we'll give you safe needles. How much can this stuff cost? We'll give you can kill yourself if you want. Whatever you want. Just not there. That makes sense? Anybody ever feel this? Now, everybody wants to feel sorry for them. That's great. Who feels sorry for you? Who feels sorry for us? Why do I have to see this? Have you been through this? Not Kensington per se, but please explain why their sadness and their sickness and their disease trumps my ability to say, hey, I don't want to see this. I'm doing the right thing. Yeah, but they're sick. Well, I'm not. Do I get a reward? No. Sick always trumps you. Sorry. Does that make any sense? And when you say this, I feel sorry for them. What does that mean? Does your pity perpetuate this? Does your pity perpetuate this? If somebody said, all right, everybody get out of here. We're done. Get on the bus, get out, move, beat it. And take a big hose and you hose everything down, disinfect everything. It's God knows the blood. But tell me, what am I supposed to do? How long do I have to say, oh, these poor things? How long? Tell me. How? Why? Edie has, I think she has 2 daughters who destroyed their lives by drugs. That's why I'm a 63-year-old and raising my 1-year-old granddaughter. God bless you. God bless you. But your daughters, Edie, should be handling their own daughter. I understand they can't. But excuse me, why is this? Oh, well, I got a problem. And it comes down to this. There are people who say, and granted, this is not that, but I don't want to go to work. I'm feeling I have trigger warnings. I have microaggression issues. I want to stay at home in my PJs and my slides or whatever, and I don't want to go to work. And I've got my little pet here, and I'm feeling a little anxious. Now, granted, that's a minor version of this, but somehow, explain to me, why did we not see that in the 50s? You might say, well, there wasn't that much of this. Well, there were winos. They had Skid Row. Let me tell you something. I don't want to do anything to harm them, but there is nothing that says I can't pick them up and move them to a place where they can all cohabit. Just stay there. We'll feed you. Just get out. I don't want to see this anymore. I don't want to have to worry about getting stuck with a needle. I don't want to come out of a restaurant and see somebody passed out in front of me. I don't want to see this. Do I have any rights? Anybody? Do I have any rights? Do I have any say in this? Or I'm sorry. Why? Well, their sickness outweighs and trumps your idea. I don't understand it. I'm so over this. I don't care anymore. It's like what am I supposed to do? The numbers are going through the roof. Nobody seems to care about it. Nobody seems to be doing anything to change this. Let me stop for a second because I'm getting angry. And I don't want to get angry. It's not my thing. I don't get angry. I'll tell you one guy who should get angry is Mike Lindell after what they're doing to him. But you know what we're going to do, Mike? We're behind you 100%. Because if there's one thing that Americans do great is to work hard and to show the beauty of the capitalist industry, the entrepreneurial spirit. And that's why mypillow.com, promo code Lionel, is for me. Listen carefully. All right, my friend. It's time to hail and salute our great friends at mypillow.com. And if you use promo code Lionel, you get a free gift. No purchase necessary. I know a free gift. It's a tautology, so sue me. But listen carefully. What are we talking about? Giza Dream Bed Sheets, My Pillow 2.0, sheets, slippers, percales, towels, quilts, bedspreads, mattresses, mattress covers, mattress toppers, linens, kitchen towels, bathrobes, name it. Items to help you luxuriate and relax. Think about it. And they're monster sellers right now. Listen to me. Slippers. My slippers. Think about it. What do they do with My Pillow? They make things real soft and plush and comfy. How perfect. And when they apply that genius to slippers, look out. Look out. Look at the specials right now, but only if you use promo code Lionel. So go to mypillow.com/Lionel. Solid disproval. mypillow.com/Lionel or call 800-645-4965. Call right now and watch how fast Mike answers the phone. mypillow.com, the best. Please tell me where we lost our way. Please tell me. Please tell me. If there was a new drug that came out called fentanyl, fentanyl, tricycline. And the nickname was, that's the name of it. And when you take it, it makes you hit people. It makes you violent. Would we do the same thing? Oh. Hey, they're violent. I know. But they can't help it. Oh, yeah? What are you going to do about it? Nothing. What do you mean nothing? They can't help it. What's the matter with us? I don't get it. Lori Cuck says taxpayers have real power if we use it. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I don't understand this. One day, all of a sudden, we had these drug addicts who just showed up, like in the neighborhood. They were here, 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 and here, and they had these boxes, and then now they're gone. Now, I promise you, if I told you, listen to me and listen good. If I went through the areas with a car, with a like a loudspeaker, and said, "You have until tomorrow at noon. You are not going to be sleeping on the street." Okay, you're not. You're not. You create an obstacle. This is a safety issue for you and others. We don't want to see this anymore. If we see you, we're going to pick you up and we're going to take you someplace with this big area. It might be, we'll have a nice, it's not going to be too cold. Maybe something like Idaho. Big, just acres and acres of government property. Set up a little tents, knock yourself out, kill yourself. We'll try to give you treatment, but you can do whatever. You can sleep on the ground, sleep standing up, just walk around nude. I don't care. Whatever you want. Just go over there. Would you do it? Or you're going to do it. Don't give me this, but no, I have to live. No. I'm not asking you. I'm not saying, would you please think about it? No, I'm telling you, you're going to go there because you're not going to stay here any longer. You're not going to scare people. You are dangerous. And I don't understand it. So what are we supposed to do? Now there's going to be a stronger drug coming up and a stronger drug. Pretty soon we're going to see people just dropping dead, and they are already. What are we supposed to do? Who's responsible for that? Who's responsible? Who is responsible for that? Now, you may be surprised at what I'm about to tell you. And this is not because of a libertarian, but if that's what you want to do, go ahead. I'm sorry. I can't make you not do that. And if you want to, like with Edie's case, if you want to throw away your life, go ahead. I can't tell you, I can't make you, I can't put you in it, but I can pick you up and move you because I have a right to. Number one, I don't want to see that. You know how they have a noise? You can't play loud music at 3 a.m, right? We have same thing. This is a visual annoyance. This is a visual nuisance. You're hurting business. You're destroying property. You're destroying businesses. Nobody wants to come to this area because you've got these people covered in their own waste. These sores are incredible. They cause a fasciitis, a necrotizing, flesh-eating fasciitis, and the wounds become fungated and just beautifully. They're purulent, pus-filled. They're just lesions, and when it gets to the point where it's really bad, amputation's the only thing, and nobody really knows why do you have where are they from? I don't know. Remember when meth was bad and they had a dry socket and you lose your teeth and they would pick their face and you had the sore? Meth was a walk in the park compared to this. I mean, it's really something to see what they do. I mean, it's just wow. And some of these things, naloxone or Narcan, won't work at all. So what are you going to do? I'm asking you, what do you do? By the way, here's Liz's announcement. We lost our way when the Democrats started supplementing everyone. It was too easy to take advantage. That's how we became a society of deadbeats. Here, bloody here. That's our gal, our favorite den mother, LS, speaking from the heart. Correct. Now, first of all, if I warn you about something, that's important. Let me give you an example. If I were to tell you, if you are convicted of molesting a child after January the 1st, 2025, we're going to take a soldering iron and number 9 axle grease and introduce it into a certain orifice, and you will find this extremely unpleasant. After October the 1st, 2025. You can't do that. Oh, yes, I can. You can't do that. Oh, yes, I can. By the way, do you want to protest this? Do you want to make it so that it never happens? Don't molest a child. Now, I've warned you. Now, you could always argue, yeah, but you're going to get somebody who really didn't do it. It's a good point. It's a good point. It's a good point. But I'm warning you. I'm telling you, if you do this, this is what happens. And somebody does it. What am I supposed to do? I think those numbers will go down. What do you say? I think those numbers will go down. I really do. I was watching, I love these cop shows. I love these. They're the best. I can't, I don't know who'd want to be a cop today. There was an accident. I saw this one. I don't know where the hell it was. It was a bunch of Mexicans. They did nothing wrong. The car turned over. I mean, when you see these accidents, wow. It reminded me about how I really, really used to not love, but I was fascinated by accident scenes, car accidents, those pictures. Wow. Everything else was accidents. So there was this crazy Mexican dude. The car turned over and they were trying to get the kids out. And all of a sudden he goes psycho and pulls a knife out and comes after a cop and they shoot him. I'm thinking, you've just been in a car accident. They're trying to help you and your family. They're getting, and you pull a knife out. What the hell? There is a level of vermin. What? Please spend any time you want watching anything. And women are the worst. Sorry. Entitled, black, white, poor, rich, doesn't matter. Forget the Karens, just plain old traffic stops. Just traffic stops. There's something that happened to us. And here's the deal. It's time for us to say, we're talking now. I want the government to say, oh, look at people like Pam Jackson or Liz or Aunt Droid or lodging complaints or Eric Thaddeus. I want somebody to say, these are the people that we were. And you know what? They're funny about this stuff. They don't want to be bothered. We're going to do this to see that they're not bothered. Just makes sense. Now, I know we've gone from Israel and genocide, all that stuff. Gonzalo Lira. But I want to be able to talk. I want to change the way you think. Stop being a victim. Stop going around and saying, I feel sorry for people. The hell with whether you feel sorry. What about feeling sorry for you? Well, I can't do it. Yes, feel sorry for you. Who looks after you? Anybody? No. You're just used to it. You're just used to it. Look at Lori Cook. I know my rights, blah, blah, blah. Lori, that's exactly what happens. And they also do this. I want to talk to your supervisor. I got your supervisor right here. Here's the supervisor. You want to talk to him? You're right here. It's a supervisor. It's just incredible. And the lying, the shoplifting. We live in the most they just feel like there's just I've never seen any. I've never seen. And the people who they're so stupid. They're pulled over for nothing and they end up getting arrested because they're screaming at the cops. You can't do that. You can't tell me that. And they watch YouTube and they learn. I want to talk to your supervisor. You're not going to talk to my supervisor. Imagine going to McDonald's. Excuse me. Yes. I'd like the manager to take my order. What? I like the manager. I don't want you. I want the manager to take my order. Get the hell out of here. That's McDonald's. Well, how am I, if that doesn't work at McDonald's, how do I get a lieutenant to, it's his self-title. And by the way, there are people, and I want to tell you something. This is why I am not a Christian. Because a Christian believes that all people are special. All people reflect God's grace and God's beauty and in the sanctity of God. And that humans were made in God's image. I don't believe that. There are people I despise. There are people who I don't think enjoy membership in the same human race I do. They're hominids. They're beneath, well, to call them useless is another story. And they come in all shapes and races and sizes. And I hate them because I hate people, as you probably know this. And it's getting worse and getting worse. And that's why 2024, it all changes. By the way, cops have absolute power. Dick Gal, absolutely. One time we were right there, 42nd Street. And what was it? It was 11th. Yeah. Heading towards the Lincoln Tunnel. And this cop, I don't know what the hell he thought I did. I don't know what he yelled at me. You know what I said? My apologies, sir. Drove off. No problem. Oh, I couldn't get what's your badge number. Let me see my phone. They're always like this. They hold it up like it's some talisman, like it's some to ward off. Yes, sir. License and registration? Yes, sir. Right here, sir. Don't get involved in any conversation. He doesn't care about you. You're not doing anything unless you're, that's it. Thank you, sir. That's it. Period. I don't understand it. You can beat the rap, but you can't beat the right. I've lectured you enough. I really have. No, I have. I'm serious. Lori Cuck is on fire tonight. John McGuire, thank you. Couldn't get higher. White Monkey. I don't know what that means. And George Lenz. Thank you. Thank you. My friends, please vote for me for president. Number one, you get to pass one law. Here's mine. Under my presidency, you will not be able to park an RV or a boat on your property. Not in your driveway, not in your backyard, not on the side of the house. No. I don't give a damn whether you're a homeowners association. No. That drives me nuts. There's a place, I don't want to tell you where it is, but there's a car. It's been abandoned. I don't know why it's a really nice place. We drive by it. I don't know what the hell it's doing there. It's just it just drives me crazy. Get that thing out of here. Number two, anybody who backs into a parking space has to have immediate psychiatric evaluation to find out whether they should have sharp objects, much less driving in the first place. Lori says only taxpayers can vote. Well, got to work on that one. We may have a problem with that one. I dig what you're saying. What about people who don't pay tax because they're so rich they don't pay taxes? Like, for example, last year, I didn't pay any taxes. Am I a taxpayer? I don't know. If somebody does that carried interest, anyway. Why do people do this? I have no idea. Next, when will tattooing officially say that's it? When will you read in the paper, nobody's getting tattoos anymore? They've hit their peak. There's a show on YouTube. Is it Sean Ryan or something? He's these ex-military. I was a Navy SEAL, and I was and I was Delta Force, and they have their arms and their neck. I say, what? I want to ask you something. I want to do a show called What Were You Thinking? When did you realize that you had to have your entire body covered in tattoos? At what point was it? What was the significance of it? What was the event? Where were you? Was it somebody you saw? Did it make you feel? Tell me. What was the event that says, I'm going to cover this up? Now, we haven't seen these. Do you know what an 80-year-old man looks like who just Harley Race was maybe one of the toughest Well, you know the stories about the end of Haku or Meng. They say it was the scariest. He bit a man's nose off, and this is in real life. Well, Harley Race, 7 times NWA champion, had 2 tattoos on his arm, and they lost all. I guess he got them when he was real young, and they lost all form, and they look like 2 big bruises. What do you think these people are going to look like when they have bingo wings and the colors merge and they've got this thing on their face? And grandma, she has that platysmal dehiscence and all of this stuff hangs. And what? I mean, it's a free country. You have no idea. What is the purpose? Why in the name? When did this happen? What was it? Who was it who said, this looks good now? This looks good. We're going to do this. We're going to cover our everything. Neck, eyes, teardrops, faces, color blue. We're going to cover everything. When did it happen? Somebody tell me. John McGuire couldn't get higher, says, my wife backs into spaces. She says it's because she has a hard time backing out. Think about that answer and try not to be confused. She has a hard time backing out? Maybe she shouldn't be driving. I'm just saying. Lori says, I had to get my tat on my breast redone. Redone? How about removed? That's gotta hurt. What is the point of that? I don't understand that. Nobody ever says, this looks good. Here's a breast. Let's put a butterfly on it. Doesn't that look good? That looks so much better. No, it's another reason. You're doing it to show some type of rebellion. You're trying to show some type of inclusion. They are the ugliest, most hideous things. There's no such thing as a cute tattoo. It's low rent. It's carnival. It's just crap. And you know it, and I know it. And I don't care about this. Well, I mean, you're doing it because you're trying to fit in. Nobody ever wakes up and says, you know what? I'm really, my breast is missing something. A tattoo might be good. Admit it. That's why people do it. Remember the Fred Ziffel thing? I think that might be on its way out. I don't know. The Fred Ziffel beard. Remember this? During COVID, I grew my beard out. I looked demented, okay? But it was fun kind of a way because people said, what the hell's the matter with you? And I think the Fred Ziffel, all of a sudden they wore this. Oh, look at this. Lori says, I got older. Lori, there's something about gravity. Get ready for this one. I got no problem with it. Sometimes things say, okay, that's it. We're hanging. That's it. One day people say, what the hell is this? What happened? That's it. It's like a bridge that breaks down, just breaks, falls apart. That's it. All of a sudden you say, what happened? But don't get any work done. I'm telling you, you're going to end up looking like a fool. Do not do that. Anybody ever go to a high school reunion and think that everybody looks ancient? Like, who are these people? And do they look at you and say the same thing? I don't know. I just think we've all lost our minds. That's all. Period. So, my friends, I thank you. Yeah, always leave yourself out. Your first move when driving should never be back first action. By the way, here's something. If you're going to do something, by the way, when you're driving, please always leave space so you can drive around the car in front of you. If you're carjacked, if something happens, never get behind somebody. Always leave a good space. That's the best thing for you. Backing in, no. I mean, that's okay. It just looks weird. And how do we ever exist without cameras in the back of our cars? 3-point turns. Anybody remember a 3-point turn? Who does a 3-point? It's easy. But parallel parking, now with that backwards thing. Well, Yugos don't have it. It's a stretch, by the way. They don't have that anymore. All right, I've had enough. I've had enough of you. Okay? That's it. Good night from Greenville, Illinois. It's 0 here. Well, thank you, Lori. Thanks for everybody. Have a great night. Right now, it's 40 degrees here in New York City. What are you going to do? All right, dear friends. See you tomorrow, 8 a.m. You were terrific. It is always such a pleasure to be with you. I love you. Like your, well, whatever level of love one can have for complete strangers who basically exist only in writing and thumbnails. See you tomorrow, 8 a.m. Don't forget the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da-da.